Microsoft Store version glitch. In the GTA San Andreas Microsoft Store PC version or any other remastered version, there's a glitch that allows you to quickly beat the game at 100% in under 10 minutes or so. To pull this cheat off, you need to restart the game from scratch, find some grenades at the motel, go find the arcade minigame in the bar, start and then rapidly cancel the arcade minigame multiple times until you notice the game is starting to glitch, blow yourself up with the grenades you found earlier, die, and then try to get busted by the police while on a police vehicle after toggling vigilante. Once you're free again, find a police bike or car and drive to San Fierro to start the NRG challenge. And there you go, you have officially completed the game, getting 100% and cash as your reward. There of course are more steps, but that's the simplified version. Bigfoot. When GTA San Andreas was released in 2004, a rumor emerged. Fans across the internet began spreading rumors of a well-known mythical creature making an appearance in the dark corners of San Andreas. Those rumors grew in popularity until they were just about as well known as the game itself, which led to players everywhere trying to hunt down Bigfoot. To this day, the true Bigfoot hasn't been found outside of modded games, and the debate of whether or not it actually exists rages on. However, if you look in the Thanks To section on the game's manual, you'll see that Bigfoot has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. The Bigfoot myth gained so much traction that an entire mission featuring the creature was created for Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Gant Bridge. I hope you're not afraid of sharks. Allegedly, the waters under the Gant Bridge are absolutely swimming with them. For some reason, this location spawns sharks at a much higher rate than anywhere else in the game. Some people believe that this implies that people frequently jump from the bridge to end their lives. This is unconfirmed though, but still chilling to think about. Aliens. Like Bigfoot, aliens are another common myth in San Andreas. The game references them several times through voice lines, like one in the Mission Black Project, where a woman can be heard saying, "All personnel working on alien bodies, evacuate immediately," in Area 69, Rockstar's version of Area 51. Alleged alien sightings have been reported by players around Area 69, the Bone County Desert, and Aldea Malvada, and there are references to aliens in the game's story, but their physical existence in the game is still unconfirmed to this day. Moon. Every 3D Grand Theft Auto game has an Easter egg that allows you to change the size of the moon by shooting it with a sniper rifle, but San Andreas has another Easter egg that involves the moon. If you listen to the Area 53 radio show, you'll eventually hear a trucker call in and say the line, "I agree with you about the moon. We never landed on the moon, it's such a good fake." This is a reference to the real-life conspiracy theory that the moon landing was faked in 1969. Zero RC. In Garcia, San Fierro, there's a hobby store called Zero RC. The store plays an important part in the San Andreas story, but it also has a number of interesting models and textures hidden throughout it. For instance, it's possible to find action figures of characters from different Rockstar games, including Tommy Vercetti and Lance Vance from GTA Vice City, and James Earl Cash and Pixie from Manhunt. The Rockstar logo can also be seen on kites and toy boats. Zero is Cross. The voice actor for Zero is a comedian named David Cross, well known for his respected Oscar-winning role in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Guess what your Uncle Ian brought you?
12 years after San Andreas was released, Cross appeared on Hot Ones, where he was asked about his experience working on San Andreas. He stated that he hated the character he portrayed, and also the RC missions you do for him. Later on, he came back to voice GTA Online's Cult FM DJ Zachary. Hot coffee. When San Andreas was first released, it stoked a staggering amount of controversy when a 6 minigame was discovered. It wasn't playable at launch, but after the files were discovered, modders quickly found a way to re-implement it for the PC port that came in 2005. Soon after that, PS2 and Xbox players found a way to access the disabled mechanic. Activists and politicians demanded that the ESRB reevaluate San Andreas, and it became the first GTA game to receive an adults-only rating. Rockstar later released a version of the game with the hot coffee files removed, leading them to regain the M rating. The scene occurs between CJ and his girl. In order to enable it to occur, you need to pick her up in a car, drive her around for a bit, and bring her back home. After, she will invite you in for some coffee, and you know what that alludes to. hanging out in bed with your jeans on apparently. It's not that explicit, but YouTube will age restrict the video if I show the gameplay. Because of the sounds, I always thought that the band scene was simply an unfinished and flawed minigame, but surprisingly it's playable and contains official voice acting. So the minigame was a fully fleshed out idea in the game that was simply blocked off. Lance Vance. Lance Vance is an iconic villain from GTA Vice City, and he is referenced several times in San Andreas. There's a billboard in Richmond, Los Santos that features the character, and there's a pedestrian voice line that says, "It's time for the Lance Vance dance." Leaving one of the doors open on the back of an ambulance will also reveal the word Lance, but that might just be a coincidence. Manhunt Easter egg. If you explore the Las Venturas Police Department, you can find a picture of James Earl Cash, the protagonist of Manhunt, posted on a corkboard. It's possible that this was placed there as an Easter egg, but it has also been confirmed that both Manhunt and GTA exist in the same universe. Could James Earl Cash be on the loose in San Andreas? Or is it just a shout out? Ghost cars. A variant of the Glendale car with permanently dented panels, bumpers, and doors have been found to spawn in the woods of Backo Beyond and Angel Pine Junkyard. Over the years, players have observed these cars moving slowly in the woods with no one behind the wheel. This is how they earned the nickname Ghost Cars, but the real explanation for their movement is that they spawn on a hill, so when the player sees them, they're sliding down the hill, not being driven by a digital ghost. Mystery of Claude. GTA 3's protagonist makes a short cameo appearance in GTA San Andreas. In the mission Farewell My Love, CJ and Claude participate in a race. San Andreas takes place in 1992, which is several years before GTA 3, which takes place in 2001. After the race ends, Catalina says she and Claude are going to Liberty City, the city where GTA 3 takes place. And just like in GTA 3, Claude doesn't say a single word for his entire cameo. Mass Grave. There's an unsettling location in the Bone County Desert. Just southwest of the Verdant Meadows aircraft graveyard, you can find a pickup truck backed up to the large hole in the ground. If you get close to the hole, you can see several body bags at the bottom. GTA myth hunters have investigated the site and suggested a number of different suspects, but the grave is likely a reference to the real mafias of Las Vegas that have been known to dispose of bodies in the desert. Leatherface. It is believed that an infamous chainsaw killer is on the loose in San Andreas. At the abandoned sawmill in Red County, players have reported hearing chainsaw noises late at night. There are faked videos and mods that put Leatherface in the game, but these don't verify those reports. Allegedly, the real Leatherface attacks and kills the player from behind before they have a chance to get away. Alien Bar. A short jog away from Area 69, there's a building called the Lil Probe Inn. Yes, that means exactly what you think it means. It's an alien-themed bar complete with a rotating UFO sign. You can enter and explore the location to see all kinds of UFO images, play pool with strangers, and access a secret world. More on that later. In the back office of the bar, there is also a map depicting what might be an alternate universe version of San Andreas. Bayside doesn't appear to exist on it, but there is a small island called San Fierro Bay that doesn't appear in the game. Rock Stars. Another sneaky Easter egg implemented by Rockstar Games can be seen in the night sky. If you look up at night, you'll be able to make out a constellation that forms Rockstar's R logo. Lights and buildings can get in the way of the constellation, so it's easier to see out in the desert. DNMOLC1. This is the file name of a pedestrian model that can be found around Bone County. It appears to be a normal local person wearing a bandana and a necklace, but there's something off about this character. If you bump into it, it'll say, "Is this mating?" And it says other strange lines like, "You're a genius to civilization. I do not wish to hurt you. You're poised for extinction," and the line that basically gives it away, "I come in peace." Players have come to the conclusion that this is an escaped alien in disguise, which makes more sense when you realize anywhere you encounter the character will be close to Area 69. Skateboard. There are a number of clues that point to the inclusion of a skateboard at some point in San Andreas' development. There is a model, lines of code, an icon, and even a pickup point for it located in an unused burglary house. It is believed that the skateboard could have been used for transportation as well as a melee weapon. 50 Cent in San Andreas. Before rapper Young Melee took on the role of CJ, the role was actually offered to another rapper, 50 Cent. Rockstar approached 50 early in the development process, but he turned them down. Allegedly, 50 said that if he was ever to star in a video game, he would be playing himself. He followed through with that plan, and a year after San Andreas was released, we got 50 Cent Bulletproof for the PS2 and other consoles. CJ and Franklin are related. Young Melee also has another connection to the GTA universe outside of his role as CJ. He's related to Sean Fontino, the actor who brought Franklin Clinton to life in GTA 5. The two are cousins in real life, creating something of a family voice acting dynasty in the GTA universe. Mad Dog glitch. There's a glitch in GTA San Andreas that makes the game unwinnable. The glitch occurs when the pedestrian with golf clubs cheat is activated and the game is saved. Due to an issue with the cheat's deactivation code being incomplete, it will stay activated and cause certain NPCs to become violent. Since the character Mad Dog was programmed as an NPC, the glitch causes him to jump off the top of the building in the mission Mad Dog, killing himself and making the mission impossible. The only known ways to fix the glitch are by using a save editor or by starting a new game. Mysterious birds. There is an unidentified species of bird that flies high in the skies above Bone County, even higher than the airplane height limit. They only spawn above the player when they are in an aircraft, and because they don't show up anywhere else, players have developed the myth that these birds are mutated flying animals, or possibly even robots disguised by the government to spy on civilians, just like real-life birds. Infinite ocean. If you jump into the waters surrounding San Andreas and swim away from the shore, you can swim for a long time. Forever, in fact. Instead of having invisible walls or other methods of keeping players within the bounds of the game world, like other open world games, GTA games have an infinite ocean. Water will just keep appearing in front of you as long as you swim. Hillary Clinton. One of the most prominent figures to take on Rockstar during the hot coffee controversy was Hillary Clinton. She was instrumental in the creation of the Family Entertainment Protection Act, and in general caused Rockstar a lot of trouble that ultimately led to nothing. Several years later, Rockstar got their revenge in the most Rockstar way possible. If you take a good look at the Statue of Liberty's face in GTA 4, it might look slightly familiar. Palomino Creek Shovel. The small town of Palomino Creek has a graveyard. In that graveyard, you can find one of the game's rarest weapons, a shovel. Because it only spawns in creepy locations like the graveyard, the Angel Pine Junkyard, and the Panopticon, players have linked the shovel to several unconfirmed myths and mysteries, like zombies and the grave robber. Big Smoke's order. One of the most meme scenes in San Andreas is one where Big Smoke orders an obscene amount of food. Players and fans still use the meme today, and some people have even created viral food challenges attempting to consume the equivalent of all the food Big Smoke orders in one sitting. However, there might actually be a narrative reason for the order. Fans have speculated that Smoke ordered so much food as a way to give the Ballas time to get to the Cluckenbill so they could kill CJ and the gang. Notably, Smoke doesn't even defend the car he's in, choosing to eat instead. This might have been the first hint that Big Smoke wasn't who he said he was. Green Goo. Green Goo is a mission that has CJ use a jetpack to attack and rob a train in order to collect a jar of green goo for the truth. It's never explained what the green goo is, but because it was being delivered by a train from Area 69, was heavily guarded by government agents, and is in a strange looking container, fans have come to the conclusion that the goo must have something to do with aliens. There are references in the game to green-blooded abominations. Could the green goo be alien blood or something? The truth is out there. After the completion of Green Goo, there was a mission called The Truth is Out There at one point in development. That mission was later scrapped though, but there are remnants of its events hidden in the game's code. The objective of the mission would have been to rescue the Truth, who was being pursued by federal agents for wandering around Area 69, referred to as Area 51 in the code. Nothing else regarding this mission exists since it was cut so early on, but with a title like that, it's possible that it could have actually revealed the aliens in San Andreas. Ghost graffiti. In San Andreas, even the dead act up. On the back wall of the Vinewood Cemetery Mausoleum, you can find graffiti that says families for life, with E's and S's stylized to look like the number 6, effectively creating 666, the mark of the beast. The graffiti is only visible at night and completely disappears in the morning. Some have suggested that the ghost graffiti is a glitch, due to their similarity to the neon signs that are also visible at night but not during the day. But the paranormal nature of the graffiti's location leads me to think otherwise. It's ghosts for sure. Everyone hates the remaster. In 2021, Rockstar released remastered versions of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. For a variety of reasons, everyone hated it. San Andreas fans were up in arms over the removal of the unique walk animations CJ had based on whether he was skinny, fat, or muscular, and the art style changed applied to all of the games, and it changed how they looked and felt. The graphical change also led to in-game rain obscuring the screen, making the game basically unplayable. Combined with the avalanche of game-breaking bugs, the GTA Trilogy remaster was a total disaster. Zombie Lab. In downtown San Fierro, there's a building dedicated to zombie research. It belongs to a company called the Zombotech Corporation, and it's the source of a number of myths within San Andreas. The lobby of the building features a tall statue of human DNA, which some players believe is hinting at the genetic research being conducted there. If there was any doubts about what they're doing in this bizarre facility, there's a sign inside the building that says Zombotech Sinister Zombie Virus Research Corporation welcomes visitors. It's not really the kind of place you'd want to visit. While the building could have some ramifications of GTA universe lore, eventually it's more likely that it is just an Easter egg referencing the Resident Evil series Umbrella Corporation. UFOs. All around San Andreas, you can see blinking lights at high altitudes all throughout the day and night. If you try to pursue them, they just zoom away. They're impossible to catch, but do leave a vapor trail behind them. Because of that, no one has been able to see one up close. No one knows why the lights are there or what they are, but they are definitely unidentified flying objects in the most literal sense, even if they don't have anything to do with aliens. Pigsy. While the protagonist of Manhunt just has a picture on a corkboard, one of the game's villains might actually be in the game. A San Andreas myth that has been around since the release of the game is the presence of Pigsy somewhere in the game world. The myth gained traction in 2008 when YouTuber Darth Demontis featured a freeze frame of Pigsy in a video. Since then, players have reported seeing Pigsy around Mount Chiliad and Shady Creeks. Like Leatherface, Pigsy also uses a chainsaw as his primary weapon. There's even speculation that the two characters have a feud in the game. Due to a line said by an NPC some believe to be Leatherface. If you bump into him, he says, "Watch it, Piggy." Mr. Trenchcoat. San Andreas is full of weirdness, but one of the weirdest things is an NPC named Mr. Trenchcoat. Mr. Trenchcoat is a paranoid, hostile man who looks like the guy in the neighborhood watch sign. His voice lines imply that he can hear voices in his head, that he's been abducted by aliens more than once, that he has a cranial implant, and more. He can even be heard talking about lizard-eyed imposters, and some players have also reported seeing him stabbing people near Fort Carson or attacking with a combat shotgun. It's not clear if he's paranoid, schizophrenic, a conspiracy theorist, or anything else, but he's definitely one of the most interesting NPCs in the entire game. Blue Hill. There are several hidden portals throughout San Andreas that allow you to access a twisted, hopeless, alternate dimension, a place from which there is no escape. Blue Hill. It's not that bad or that serious really. Blue Hill's just a glitch that allows you to clip under the game world. It's been present in mostly every 3D GTA game, both through modding and glitch hunting. Faces in the dirt. Wherever you go in San Andreas, you're probably not too far away from something unsettling. There are many textures in the game that resemble faces, like this one that shows Pigsy hiding in the street texture, as well as many others that can be found around Blueberry, Los Santos, and elsewhere. Players have come to label these terrifying textures as demons. DYOM, Design Your Own Mission, is a mod that allows players to do exactly what it says, create missions from scratch in-game. More than tens of thousands of missions have been created using this tool, but the mod itself was likely built on the back of a DLC expansion loader that Rockstar began developing for San Andreas. The loader was scrapped at some point in development, probably because San Andreas was already too big for the PS2 and Xbox at the time. Cut gangs. There are a total of 8 gangs present in San Andreas, but it's possible that 2 were cut from the final game. In conversations with The Truth, he'll sometimes mention the Shining Razors and the Butterfly Children. These are believed to be Vietnamese gangs that exist in San Fierro, but they are never seen and never mentioned outside of those conversations. Catalina Cabin Graves. Catalina owns a cabin in Fern Ridge, Rid County, and it has some concerning lawn decorations. Just next to the house, you can find 3 graves and one of the rare shovel pickups. She mentions having boyfriends before CJ came into the picture, and it looks like she might have buried them there, right next to where she sleeps. Water pollution conspiracy. Rockstar devs are masters of environmental storytelling, which makes us believe this conspiracy might carry some weight. There's a location in Red County where you can find the biowell, a dumping site for biohazardous and chemical waste. Players began to notice that the well looks run down and abandoned, and speculation regarding where all that waste was going began. After that, an area affected by radioactive waste was found, leading everyone to believe that the companies of San Andreas were dumping their waste into the waters in and around the area. There are many references and lines in game that support this conspiracy as well. Ed Gein Easter eggs. Ed Gein was a grave robber, killer, and an all-around freak in the late 1950s. His horrific crimes included digging up bodies from graves to craft keepsakes from their remains, and tan their skins to use for things like furniture and disgustingly masks. He serves as the inspiration for iconic horror villains like Norman Bates, Leatherface, and more across pop culture. In GTA San Andreas, Rockstar included a few references to the monster. The Flint Range subdivision has farmhouses that look an awful lot like Gene's house. One even has various weapons hidden in the barn, including a chainsaw. The ghost cars of San Andreas eerily resemble Gene's 1949 Ford sedan. The graveyard in Palomino Creek had a coffin that had been dug up and emptied, another possible reference to Gene. Hidden Interiors Universe. San Andreas has 150 hidden interiors that make up the Hidden Interiors universe. These can be accessed by using a jetpack to get to the height limit at various points on the map, and walking into the yellow marker there just like you would to enter a normal location. Then you will be taken to a place full of locations that were either unused or only appear in cutscenes. Franklin and San Andreas. I already talked about CJ and Franklin's voice actors being related, but Sean Fontino had another connection to San Andreas. He's in it. Fontino actually voiced a Grove Street NPC named Fam1 in the game's code, meaning he got a major upgrade when he got the opportunity to start in GTA 5. The timeline doesn't match up to allow for that NPC to actually be Franklin back in 1992, but it's cool to think about. Horror of Mount Chiliad. Mount Chiliad is one of the most unsettling locations in San Andreas, and that can be attributed to one simple thing: the terrifying noises that can be heard on and around the mountain. Players have reported hearing chainsaws, people screaming, and sometimes even crying. The myth goes that the noises are being made by the ghosts of the people who killed themselves in the Mount Chiliad cabin. The location is also the site of many suicidal NPC sightings, as NPCs will occasionally walk off the cliff at the summit to their doom. Epsilon. Epsilon is a religious cult in San Andreas that worships beings named Keflam, Kraf, and Krant. Notice the letter each name starts with. At first glance, it's just a parody of other real-world cults like the Church of Scientology, but it's much more than that to many GTA fans. Players have spent years connecting Epsilon to NPCs, characters, and locations, and even other myths. In a way, the group studying Epsilon has become kind of a cult of its own. bin1_LAE. Bin1_LAE is a texture associated with the trash can and San Andreas' game files. However, this isn't just any old trash can. The texture contains the number 23 and a word that is either Kefran or Frankie. After its discovery in 2018, myth hunters quickly connected it to the truth. In the mission, Are You Going to San Fierro?, he mentions that the Pentagon has 23 religious artifacts, and there are 23 satellites monitoring citizens at all time. It's a bit of a stretch, but it's speculated that this is the missing third 23 that adds up to 69, one of Rockstar's favorite jokes. Pokemon. Did you know that Ash, Squirtle, Pikachu, and Mickey and Minnie Mouse are all in GTA San Andreas? It's true. In East Beach, Los Santos, there's a store called Juguetes Regalos, which translates to Toys Gifts. The sign for that building is low resolution because it's from the PS2 version, but zoomed in and enhanced images of the sign reveal that all of those characters are right there for all to see. It's a wonder Nintendo or Disney never sued them for that. The Blueberry Mystery. Throughout the entire town of Blueberry, you can find places that emit a strange blue glow with no obvious source. Buildings, bridges, rock faces, and more have an eerie blue sheen. It's a phenomenon that happens in other places in the game, and many players believe it has something to do with Ipsilon. The reason is that the rumored Ipsilon headquarters is located close by, and the color blue is known to be an important color for the cult. It's also worth noting that Blueberry is located at the dead center of San Andreas' map. No one knows if this is just a glitch or something with more sinister implications, but players are still investigating the Blueberry mystery to this day. The Panopticon. The Panopticon is an area in Red County that serves as the home for a number of San Andreas' myths. The abandoned sawmill on a hill looks and feels like a horror movie location, complete with what looks like bloody textures in different places. This could be why the grisliest characters in the game have been allegedly sighted here before. The Panopticon is where players have reported seeing chainsaw killers, Leatherface, and Pigsy. Alcatraz. In the beta version of San Andreas, the game would include Alcatraz Island and the iconic prison built on it. This can be seen in early maps from the game, but it was removed before release for an unknown reason. In its place is a simple small island located next to the Nang Boys cargo ship. Mods have been created that place Alcatraz Island and San Fierro Bay as originally intended, although the prison remains unexplorable. The Wayfarer bug. In 2011, a YouTuber named Brutal Lil F Jump discovered that a character's face was distorting while riding on the Wayfarer motorcycle. Apparently, motorcycles have the unique ability to distort and even make characters disappear. The same YouTuber was able to recreate the issue, which could just be a bug in the game's files. Police brutality. Los Angeles was known for some upsetting things in the 90s, and the San Andreas included a prominent issue as an Easter egg. In the Los Santos police station's underground parking lot, you can find a pedestrian holding their hands up while one cop repeatedly hits them, and another stands by pointing a gun at them. This is in reference to the police brutality of the 90s. Even if the cops are dispatched, the pedestrian will stay where they are, hands raised. The Farm. In Flint County, just north of Leafy Hollow, there is a farm. The area consists of sheds, a silo, a farmhouse, and a water tower. Just a regular looking farm, right? Well, the farmhouse develops a strange blue glow in the nighttime, the very same glow that is present around Blueberry. Many believe that this farm had something to do with Ipsilon, but the PS2's physical map of San Andreas confirms it. That place on the map is labeled as Cult Location. Las Brujas. Las Brujas is a ghost town located in the desert of Bone County. Just in case you don't know Spanish, Las Brujas means the witches. It just looks like a regular abandoned town, and it is, most of the time. If you listen to the police scanner, you will eventually hear a reference to Las Brujas. The police say, "We got a hysterical old woman in Las Brujas, says she's a witch or something." That old woman can't be found anywhere in the town, but neither can the police who made that call. Kurt Cobain. players have found a pedestrian roaming San Andreas that looks exactly like Kurt Cobain. He's even wearing strikingly similar clothes to what he wore for an MTV Unplugged performance. It's not clear if this was intentional or not, but some players have reported this NPC speaking with a thick Cockney accent. Psychopath Pedestrian. There's an unused pedestrian NPC in the game's files that is identified as psycho.txd. It is a man with a mustache, a bomber jacket, military pants, and combat boots. Because he was never used, fans began to wonder why. This led to the creation of myths and rumors that range from normal to upsetting. One rumor is that the psycho pedestrian was originally meant to spawn as a street criminal, which would then run around and attack people in the streets. Others have created a whole backstory for the psycho, claiming that he served in the military until he had a mental breakdown that turned him into a killer. They have even pinned down a few possible places he might live: at the farmstead in Beacon Hill, the single room house in Backo Beyond, and an outpost east of the farm. None of these rumors have been able to be proven true, but the character model does exist in the game. Drug dealing mechanic. After the mission Cleaning the Hood, it's possible for players to encounter crack dealers. If they are approached, they will offer to sell drugs to CJ, but he can only reply positively or negatively. Either way he responds, he will turn the drug dealer down. This is believed to be the remnants of a drug dealing mechanic that may have been present in the beta version of San Andreas. It was removed for what should be obvious reasons. They had enough trouble with the hot coffee fiasco. Can you imagine if the game had drug dealing in it as well? Backo Beyond. Backo Beyond is a large forested area in Flint County and one of the most isolated locations in the entire game. Like the Panopticon, Backo Beyond feels distinctly like a horror movie and has also become a favorite location for myths and myth hunters. This forest is associated with Bigfoot, Pigsy, ghost cars, Epsilon, the psychopath pedestrian, and even more unlikely myths like Slenderman. Players have reported strange weather occurring here, alongside sightings of mythical creatures, and the bounds of the forest have a very distinctive outline on the map. A Bigfoot. Ghost Lake. There's a lake in Backo Beyond that has some curious qualities. It's a small lake with a dirty brown water, and somehow players discovered that this water has the ability to make cars disappear. If you drive a car into the lake, all of the car below the water level will not be visible. However, if CJ stands next to the car, you will be able to see his body below the waterline with semi-transparency, as you would in any other body of water in the game. Now, the really crazy part is, if you angle the camera to look at the cars from below the waterline, only the parts of the car under the water will be visible, while all of it above the water will disappear. This could just be a glitch, but given the weirdness of Backo Beyond and all the other stuff that happens there, is a cursed lake really a stretch? Ghost of CJ's mom. During the peak of the game's popularity, many people reported being able to see the ghost of CJ's mom, Beverly Johnson, walking around the house when triggering the camera. People claim they witnessed a translucent version of her character walking around CJ's home, and sometimes even attacking the character, only to go out of camera mode and either die or stop the attack completely. Though most attribute this urban legend due to other popular myths that came up around the same time. Another strange thing players have noted is that when comparing the photo of Beverly Johnson to this NPC in the game, the similarities are uncanny. Of course, they just used the same character model for both, but it could explain why many people have recalled seeing her character in game. Tree Man. In 2009, YouTuber Kevin Champagne 1 went to the Backo Beyond Forest location with no structures and found a tree that had a mind of its own, moving around where it pleases. In the video, he points and shoots at it to see if it stops or something happens, but there's no reaction from it because, well, it's just a tree. Either way, it would still be sort of creepy coming across this while playing your first time around. It's most likely a glitch, but some believe it to be an Easter egg of the giving tree. The Hot Coffee PS2 disc version. So there were official prints of the game that contained the Hot Coffee 6 minigame, but they are hard to find amongst the numerous disc copies out there, like the greatest hits reprints and collection sets. But this specific minigame can be found in the files of one of the official PS2 releases, most likely being found in the original Black Label version, although there were two versions of the Black Label, and one of them didn't contain the Hot Coffee mission. It was taken out. In order to tell if you have the Hot Coffee version or not, you have to read the matrix number on the back of the disc, and it has to end with the code 85A1. So if your version of the game doesn't contain this original matrix number, it most likely won't contain the banned Hot Coffee mission. If it does, you're in luck, because you have the recalled version.